Hello, welcome to Structured Dynamics' Open Semantic Framework Academy. Today's tutorial number 3 is on supporting web resources for the Open Semantic Framework, OSF. Your host is Fred Giasson.
Hi, in this screencast, we will do an overview of all the web resources that exist for the Open Semantic Framework project. So we'll cover all websites that gives documentation about the stack. We'll see demo website and things like that. So let's start with the core website that exists for the Open Semantic Framework, which is the OpenSemanticFramework.org website. So in this website, you will have general information about the framework. So if you check the Overview tab, you will be able to access the architecture, description of what OSF for Drupal is, what is the relationship with middleware, and stuff like that. You also have a series of applications that for which the Open Semantic Framework can be used for. The second website, and probably the most important one, is the Open Semantic Framework Wiki. So the wiki, the OSF wiki, is really the key to everything. So all the documentation is up to date. There are multiple manuals that should tell you how to use and leverage the OSF stack. So for example, there is an installation guide, and more importantly, there is the OSF for Drupal user manual. So if we click on that manual, for example, so the manual is quite big, but it covers everything you have to know about the OSF for Drupal module, for example. So it shows you everything you have to do with a lot of screenshots and everything. So this is like the Bible for OSF for Drupal. Also, how you can navigate the OSF wiki website is by using the categories system. So there exists a hierarchy of categories that can help you out finding the right wiki pages that you're looking for. So what we will see is the hierarchy of categories in the left side of the page, and then if we click on it, we'll get to also what pages. You can do is simply to search for a topic like web services. So you should get a series of title of pages where the title will match web services, or where the text within the pages match web services. You could check for a specific web service endpoint like the CRUD read web service endpoint, and then you would get to the API page of that web service endpoint. So I would greatly encourage you to read the wiki and try to find the answers you're looking for directly on the wiki. And if you can't find the answer to your questions, then what you should do is to go to the Open Semantic Framework group mailing list. So this is the community. This is where the OSF community exchange information about OSF. If you have questions, if you have bugs or issues using the OSF stack, you should send all your questions on that mailing list. So I will be answering questions, and other people may be answering questions as well. The fourth site is the GitHub page for Structured Dynamics. So all the projects created and maintained by Structured Dynamics are open source, and all the project's code is accessible directly on GitHub. So if you go to this GitHub page, you will have access to all and every code that has been released by Structured Dynamics related to the Open Semantic Framework. The list of projects is ordered by the latest commit. So the order of that list may change over time depending on where the last commit has been commit, and so on. And after that, you have the OSF for Drupal project page. We choose to use that Drupal page such that it's properly integrated in Drupal. So in this page, you will have all the statistics, issues that you can report directly on that page. You also have the outline of the manual, which redirects you directly to the wiki. And at the bottom, you will have the latest versions and the different branches that are related to the OSF for Drupal. After that, you have access to the Structured Dynamics website. So this website will describe all information about the company itself. So the services that we provide, the products that we have. And after that, you have two blogs. So Mike Bergman's blog and my own blog, where we write technical and non-technical blog posts about the semantic web, about the Open Semantic framework, and about all kind of things that are related to the company. So it's always a really good source of information where you can get more background information about what we're doing, about future features that may appear in the stack, to understand the direction of the project and so on. These blog posts are really a nice source of information for anyone interested in the project. So this is Mike's blog and this is my blog. So my blog tends to be much more technical than Mike's, with code outline, with command line schemas about the architecture of the stack. After that, we have access to a series of websites that use the OSF stack and that can be used as OSF demos. So the first one is our own, which is citizendan.org. So citizendan is just a demo website that shows how we can display information about a city. In this case, it's the city of Iowa. So we have different things. We have the mapping tool that shows different things that has been loaded in example data sets like schools, history images, and things like that. Yeah, so you have access to all these things. So there is also the Explorer that shows you an ontology outline. So after that, you have the mypeg.ca website. So mypeg is another project, is one of our client and one of the early adopters of OSF. So one thing they are doing, for example, is to relate things to their indicators. So different things that are linked in the data, directly in the data set, may appear depending on which indicator you are looking at and so on. So for example, this is a waste indicator. So there are different graphs that appears. Or there's the mapping tool that's used the OSF stack as well. So in this map, what you do is just to select different kind of region that overlays over Winnipeg City. Once the region type is selected, you can select the regions you want to cover, and then you select the indicator you want to use, and then you select the visualization charts that you want to use for that indicator in these regions and so on. You can choose different years. So this is really targeting indicators in a society. In this case, it's Winnipeg City. And another city-related demo is the Now portal of the city of Winnipeg. So right now, this website is being upgraded to OSF 3.0. So this is the same kind of portal that we had with Citizendan. However, it's much more complete. So there are about 60 to 70 data sets. They have all kind of layouts that focus on specific things in the city. So for example, the history of the city, census data related to the city, economic development related things. So the mapping tool, which has hundreds of thousands of records that can be mapped directly on that mapping tool. So this is a system that I would strongly suggest you to use and to browse and to see how it works. And after that, you have two help portals in Australia that use OSF stack as well. So this is using the OSF stack 2.1, which is the predecessor of the 3.0 stack. So this portal focuses on the search. It uses OSF for Drupal for the website. It's mostly managing full text documents about healthcare topics. They are using some healthcare ontologies, domain ontologies for tagging the content and so on. Another one is the pregnancy burden maybe, which is exactly the same site. Both sites are completely different, but they use exactly the same OSF instance. So this is an example of two different web portals that use the same information that is housed in the same OSF instance. So this is what covers all the web resources that exist for OSF system administrators, OSF system developers, are just decision makers that want to understand what OSF is about and how it can help their organization to manage and integrate all the information sources. So thank you for listening.